Alright, you poisonous bastards. This is my scout Venom build. Venom as in poison, not Marvel character. All the recorded footage is on Chaos 5 difficulty. Took me a lot of time to optimize this for Chaos 5 difficulty. I've tried with trap damage focused build, then I've tried with physical damage and repelling. I've tried also Summoner, that summons a bunch of dryads, and nothing was that efficient on Chaos 5. I've struggled with every single one of these builds until I stumbled upon Poison. This build is all about poison damage and high health regeneration that boosts damage even further.
A peaceful haven among the shadows.
Let's start with skills. On my left mouse button I have Crippling Blade mastered. It doesn't do poison damage, but it has energy gain of 10%, and that's the only reason why I'm using it. Reflex Shot Superior, which is second upgrade, does poison damage, and that's why I'm going for second upgrade and not the third one. This is our primary damage dealing ability that also has chance to repel enemies, which is quite important. Queen's Wrath final upgrade is the most important ability for this build. You can see the tooltip what it does. Most important thing, it adds to health regeneration significantly, which will increase our survivability and also our damage. Spinning Blades heroic upgrade that comes from set is high damage projectile that we can almost spam. It doesn't cost any points to slot thanks to the set that we are wearing, and it's fantastic addition to this build. Last two skills that I'm using are Hungry Roots and Living Roots, but they are completely optional. You don't have to go for them, you can leave these two empty or choose whatever you want. I like Hungry Roots a lot because it slows down enemies even further and it can do quite decent damage at times. Good thing about it is that it stays on the floor as well, so it can be activated multiple times. Living Roots does decent damage and that's about it. Nothing spectacular. I had some points left over, so that's why I have decided to slot it and use it sometimes. Now let's head on to passive abilities. First one is called Follow Tracks and we are using second upgrade. Second upgrade is better than the last one for this build because we restore energy as well next to damage increase buff. This build requires a lot of energy and we are constantly rolling around, so this fits perfectly. Second passive is from God's Tree. It's called Blessing of the Forest and it increases health regeneration significantly. More health regeneration, more damage and more survivability. Last passive is called Master of Poisons, third upgrade. It increases poison damage and grants poison chance to slow enemies. Now let's check God's skill tree. Right path offers increase in health and armor primarily, but it also gives us 3 Blessings of the Forest and Queen's Wrath level 1 and level 3. Next path that I'm taking is left path all the way up to that medium sized node that increases critical damage by plus 25%. This is damage path. It has many damage and critical damage increases and that's why I went down this path. Due to God's Tree choices that I've made, you can also play this build as Summoner. Just be warned that Summoner is not as effective on Chaos 5 difficulty. I'm using Eternal Queen's set because it increases poison damage by 50%, grants Toxic Aura that deals quite a lot of damage, and Spinning Blade skill is improved and no longer requires skill points to equip. If you want to play Summoner build, then just switch this set for Starlight version. Dagger that I'm using is called Executors, and it adds percentage of health regeneration to damage dealt. That is why we have high regeneration. With Queen's Wrath ability active, this damage increase goes all the way over 400. Second weapon that I'm using is called Master Archer's Bow. Upon performing critical hit, there's a chance it can reduce cooldowns. This is important to counter Queen's Wrath long cooldown. Rings that I'm using are Ring of the Guardian, that also has chance to reduce any current cooldowns upon scoring critical hit, and Iron Bark Ring that has chance to grant a damage reduction bonus for few seconds after scoring critical hit. For Talisman you can choose whatever you wish. Some important stats that you should look out for are cost reduction, cooldown reduction, critical hit chance, critical damage, and health regeneration. Now to explain how to play this build. As you can see, I'm running around a lot on Chaos 5. You do not have to do that on lower difficulties. But I like to do that on Chaos 5 to weaken enemies before starting my Queen's Wrath reflex shot combo. So what I'm doing is rolling or moving near enemies first and throwing spinning blades whenever they are off the cooldown. That way I'm weakening enemies with Toxic Aura plus Spinning Blades combination before starting Queen's Wrath and Reflex Shot combo that will finish them off. When doing Queen's Wrath and Reflex Shot combo, don't forget to keep spamming button where Spinning Blades are, because they will go off the cooldown really quickly thanks to all cooldown reductions that we have on equipped gear. That's all for this build. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching and see you soon.
A peaceful haven among the shadows. A peaceful haven among the shadows.
Time.
A peaceful haven among the shadows. A peaceful haven among the shadows.